How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another FPL Articles video and the first team selection video of the season. If you haven't already watched it, I've released a beginner's guide to FPL where I go through absolutely everything FPL related, including some tips and hacks on how to be consistent with your overall rank and how to win your mini leagues in the process. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Now let's begin with the fixtures. This awesome fixture ticker was done by Adriana, and you'll find her on Twitter. I'm not going to spend too much time chatting about the fixtures, as I'm sure you've been through them in quite some detail by now. All I can say is, don't look very long term, but rather focus on a handful of fixtures at a time to remain as flexible as possible. In talking about the fixtures, the teams that I do quite like are Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal to begin with. If you're new to the channel, comment below so I can welcome you. If you've watched me last season, can you comment with a yay yay? And you can spell that however you like. Now, let's get a little serious here and jump onto the FPL website to discuss my final draft and why I've chosen each and every player. Without wasting too much of your time, this is the final draft. I could have shown you all my drafts between preseason and now, but I don't see the point in that, as all these drafts have gone down the crapper. And yeah, this is what I've come up with. I actually wanted to show my face in this video, but to be honest with you, I am feeling a little sick today, so the face isn't all that pretty. Maybe in a future video we could do a stream or watch along or something fun. So yeah, I've come up with a 4-4-2 formation. Let's actually head to transfers, and I will tell you why I have selected each and every player in the team. So as you can see, I have 0.5 mil in the bank. Now, why I like to start the season with 0.5 mil in the bank is to allow for flexibility. For instance, I know a lot of people have Perisic in their team, and following Conte's presser today, we aren't very certain if he is going to start. So I'd like to see his minutes, see his fitness, see how he performs in that Spurs team, and maybe he could make his way into my team. Or if Jared Bowen impresses against Man City in Gameweek 1, well, he's 8.5 mil. So having that 0.5 mil in the bank is quite nice for flexibility. It allows you to make a transfer in one move rather than taking a -4. And even with how I've set up here, sorry about that. It's the flu. Hopefully it's not COVID again. Yeah, so I've gone 4-4-2. And the reason I feel that 4-4-2 is the best formation, and I'll say that word again, flexibility. It will allow me to make a transfer for any player in one move. For instance, so I've gone for Robbo, Trent, Cancelo, Trippier. Okay, so I have 3 premiums essentially in Robbo, Trent, and Cancelo. So I can drop any of them for a Chelsea defender, or I could go up from Trippier to a 5.5 mil defender. I think that's quite cool. In the midfield, there's no debate here. If you don't have Salah in your team, just log out, maybe delete your team, because you're not playing this game seriously. Let's be honest. I've gone for, and I do believe that every single one of you should have an £8 million price bracket in whatever formation you've gone with. Whether you've gone 5 at the back, 3 up top, whatever it is. There are far too many good £8 million players. Let's just go 8 mil. Midfielders. Sorry about that. 8 mil. I mean, look at that. You've got Madison, Saka, Mount. If we go further on, there's Foden, there's Mahrez. We have a ton of options there, and we don't actually know which one of them could bang in Gameweek 1, which one looks the best. And even Luis Diaz is not on the list here because he started the season quite late. Let's see if we go further down. Oh, I don't actually know. But yeah, if I type in Diaz, it should come up. Yep, there he is. So in terms of ranking the £8 million players, I would go for Luis Diaz as the first player. I'd go Saka in second, based on preseason and Arsenal's fixtures. We can have a look at the Arsenal fixtures right now. I mean, look at that. Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa. Just don't look beyond that. Try and look at the first 4 or 5 fixtures and then take it from there. Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool have incredible fixtures to start the season with. So yeah, I'd go, like I was saying, for the £8 million players. Diaz, Saka, Mount, Maddison. The reason Maddison has dropped down my list, Maddison was right up there when I made this list initially, is all the Newcastle transfer rumors. I don't actually know if he's going to play for Leicester in the first game week or not. So yeah, I've got Mount in my team, as Everton are absolutely struggling at the moment, and the team in general just looks a bit shaky. I can see Chelsea scoring quite a few goals in the first game against Everton, and then we can see whether Foden or Mahrez looks good in Game Week 1. And then with a bit of pep roulette, we can try and guess what's going to happen in Game Week 2 against Bournemouth, and then jump on one of them. I've gone for Bailey, and Bailey's in the team because he had an amazing preseason. At just £5 million, I think he's played his way into the starting 11, and he will definitely start in Game Week 1, well, in my opinion. And if he looks good in Game Week 1, why not play against Everton and then Palace? So yeah, Martinelli's in the team, amazing preseason as well. And with Smith Rowe now confirmed out injured and will unlikely feature in Game Week 1, Martinelli is a shoo-in to start. Andreas Pereira, well, he's moved from Man United to Fulham, and he's a guaranteed starter. So at 4.5 mil, he's an amazing bench option. Did I actually start with the midfield? I don't know why I did that. Let's go back into the goalkeeper positions. And I usually spend about 8.5 mil on my keeper pairing. Yeah, I generally try and go as cheap as chips when it comes to the goalkeepers. So I like to go for a 4.5 keeper from a defensively minded team like Brighton. And the first fixture is quite difficult. So that is why I'm starting with Ward as my goalkeeper for Game Week 1. If you didn't already know, Schmeichel has transferred to Nice from Leicester, which means that Ward could very likely be the number 1 keeper with, I think his name is Iverson. Let's just go to all players. Yeah, you could go for Leicester double up of Iverson and Ward for just £8 million, which is insanely cheap. That's not something that I will do. I trust Sanchez a bit more. But with that 0.5 mil, I am very tempted to go Ramsdale, who is definitely underpriced at 5 mil. For a starting Arsenal goalkeeper. I mean, you even have Mendy in Chelsea as well. But with Chelsea's preseason form, I wouldn't go near Mendy. If you want to go for anyone, just go for Reece James and just be safe, you know? So yeah, I am tempted to go Ramsdale as I do have the 0.5 mil. But that could block me from going triple Arsenal in attack if I do want to bring in Saka into my team. So yeah, I'm still weighing up that option. I could very well bring in Ramsdale. And like I always say, this team isn't locked. So make sure that you are following me on Twitter, Instagram, and you have your notifications on here on YouTube. Because the moment I post my final team selection, I will be posting it here on YouTube as well, you'll get the notification. And quite often in the season, it is very, very, very last minute. Especially if I have any 50-50 decisions, you know. So yeah, I'm weighing up Ramsdale. So that's one player that may make his way into my team, but it isn't a guarantee. When it comes to the defense, I've gone for Robertson over Diaz in midfield. I just trust Robbo a bit more. I know Diaz is playing in that Mane role now for just 8 million. So Mount could very well be Diaz, and Robertson could even be James, and I'd have another mil to spare, you know. But yeah, I just trust Robbo over Diaz at the moment. Trent is Trent. You just have to have him in your team. and is almost at 60% ownership. Nico Williams, I believe, is the best £4 million player in the game. He moved from Liverpool to Nottingham Forest. So yeah, as a fifth defender, that's a great option. Cancelo is in for Man City's amazing fixtures. I can see a ton of clean sheets here and some attacking threat from Cancelo to Haaland. And lastly, I've gone for Trippier in the defense. I was kind of hoping that we didn't get any more news on Perisic today from Conte, because I wanted people to just go for Perisic. With that injury doubt and with me going for Trippier, I mean, you've got Nottingham Forest and then Brighton the first two. I could see 2 clean sheets here and at least 1 assist. Yeah, so a lot more people will be on Trippier now because of that Perisic news. But going up top, if you don't have Jesus in your team, you're very likely going to drop down the ranks. The man is creating history. He is the highest owned ever FPL player. And all that indicates to me is that he's been massively underpriced at £8 million. There's nothing more left to say there. If you don't have Jesus in your team, I honestly suggest that you get him in right now. And I've gone for Haaland. Surprisingly, if you followed me on Twitter or Insta, you'd know that in every single draft of mine, until my most recent draft, I've had Kane in that team. And that's because I generally do not bring in any new player into the league. If they've never played in the Premier League before, well, other than like Ronaldo, right? Or if Messi came to the league. We've seen that with Werner. He came as well into the Premier League from Chelsea. He was like 56% owned, I think, in Gameweek 1. And I refused to get him. I was scared of that effective ownership. But I backed myself and that worked. A player can look amazing and lethal in another league, but the Premier League is completely different. Until we see their minutes, see how they play, then you only bring in that player. And with Spurs, if I just type in Kane here, for instance, sure, Spurs have a great first fixture against Southampton at home. They could do very well, and that's why people are going for Kane. But in Game Week 2, Spurs play Chelsea away, whilst Man City are playing against Bournemouth. Now, if you've gone for Kane in your Game Week 1 team, you're already booking a transfer in for Game Week 2, which I definitely do not suggest doing. You could have another injury in your team. Something could have happened. Usually our Game Week 1 team isn't the perfect team. Someone else is going to break through in Game Week 1 and we're going to want to get them in. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Haaland at the moment, especially after watching the Community Shield. He played a full 90 against Liverpool and racked up, I think, a 1.96 or something crazy, or 1.6 expected goals against Liverpool, which is insane. He missed a sitter and he had a good laugh about it. But that shows me that he's getting into the right positions. And my biggest worry was his minutes and the fact that he played 90 in a preseason game. He's a definite starter. And I just have this gut feeling that he's going to score a brace in the first game week. Yeah, that about sums up my team. I've gone for that 4-4-2 based on the different price points and to target that flexibility starting the season off, you know. Captaincy, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me. Mo always starts the season strong. He looked great in the Community Shield as well. And the first game is against Fulham. I can see at least 1 goal here. If I was going to go differential for Game Week 1, I mean, you could go Jesus or Haaland, but very differential. A player that I think could do very well in Game Week 1 is Coutinho. Whether you get him in your team or not, let's wait and see. The aim is to win FPL this season, so let's hope that it happens. That's all from me for this video. If you've reached this point, comment below by saying made it. And I just want to apologize if you see a ton of cuts in this video. I've coughed so often that I had to pause midway through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join the Try Smash FPL Mini League. Good luck, and remember to FPL responsibly.